Welcome back to Sasha Said What She Said, where real life, family drama, money confusion, health insurance, job benefits, and the fine print finally get explained without making your head hurt. Today we're talking about Lisa. Lisa went to the doctor thinking her visit was only going to cost $40. Baby, that copay smiled in her face, and the deductible came through the back door with luggage.
Not with luggage, Sasha.
With luggage, a toothbrush, and a long term lease. Because Lisa thought that little copay was the whole bill.
Now wait. I feel like Lisa might be all of us. Because if my insurance card says my doctor visit is $40, I'm thinking I paid my part. What else do they want?
And that is exactly why we need this episode. Because health insurance has a language of its own. Copay, deductible, coinsurance, out of pocket maximum. Those words sound like they belong in a secret society.
Exactly. They don't explain it like normal people talk. They just say, your plan has a $3,000 deductible with 20% coinsurance after deductible. Ma'am, I asked how much this appointment was going to cost, not for a riddle.
Right. So today we're going to break it down with Lisa's story. Lisa is 44 years old. She works full time, has health insurance through her job, and she tries to stay on top of her health. One day, she starts having stomach pain. At first, she ignores it.
Of course. Because we always say, maybe it's gas, maybe it's stress, maybe I just need some ginger ale.
Exactly. But after a few days, the pain gets worse. So Lisa finally says, "Let me go to the doctor." She checks her insurance card and sees her primary care visit is a $40 copay. So she walks in confident. She pays her $40 at the front desk like a responsible adult.
She probably felt proud too. Like, look at me handling my business.
Yes, she paid that copay and thought the matter was closed. The doctor sees her, asks questions, presses on her stomach, and says, "I want to order blood work and imaging just to be safe." Lisa says okay because she wants answers. She goes to the lab. She gets blood work. Then they send her for an ultrasound. A few days later, she gets a bill. And Lisa says, "Wait a minute. I already paid my $40."
That would be me. I would be looking at that bill like, who invited you?
Exactly. And that is where the confusion starts. Here is the first lesson. A copay is usually a set amount you pay for a specific service, like a doctor visit, urgent care, specialist visit, or prescription. But that copay may not cover every single thing that happens during or after that visit.
So the $40 might cover seeing the doctor, but not the labs?
Correct. Depending on the plan, the blood work, imaging, tests, procedures, or other services may be billed separately. And some of those costs may apply to your deductible.
Okay, now we need to talk about that deductible, because that word has been terrorizing people for years.
Let's make it simple. A deductible is the amount you may have to pay for certain covered services before your insurance plan starts paying its share. So if Lisa has a $2,500 deductible, that means some services may be her responsibility until she has paid enough eligible costs to meet that deductible.
So the deductible is like the insurance plan saying, you go first.
Basically, it's like the plan is standing there saying, "Handle your portion first, then we'll talk."
That feels personal.
It does, but it depends on the plan. Some services may be covered before the deductible. Some may require only a copay. Some may apply to the deductible. That's why reading the summary of benefits matters. Now, Lisa's doctor visit was $40, but her lab work was billed separately. Then her ultrasound was billed separately. The plan applied part of those charges to her deductible. So now Lisa gets a bill for a few $100s and says, "But I have insurance."
That sentence right there. But I have insurance. That's everybody's first response when the bill comes.
Yes, and let me say this clearly. Having insurance does not always mean you pay nothing. Insurance helps share or reduce costs according to the rules of the plan, but you may still be responsible for copays, deductibles, coinsurance, prescriptions, out of network charges, or non covered services.
So the card is not a magic wand.
It is not. That insurance card is not saying everything is free now. It is saying, here are the rules of how your plan works.
And nobody reads the rules until the bill starts tap dancing on the kitchen table.
Exactly. Now, let's say Lisa goes back to the doctor and they send her to a specialist. Her specialist copay is $75. She pays that. The specialist orders more tests. Some costs go toward the deductible. Then, after she meets her deductible, another word shows up: coinsurance.
Oh Lord, here comes another character.
Coinsurance is usually a percentage you may pay for covered services after your deductible has been met. For example, if your plan says 20% coinsurance after deductible, that means once the deductible is met, the insurance company may pay a portion, and you may pay 20% of the allowed cost for certain services.
So even after I meet the deductible, I may still have to pay.
Yes, until you reach your out-of-pocket maximum, depending on the plan.
The out-of-pocket maximum better be the finish line.
It is usually the annual limit on what you pay for covered in-network services. Once you reach that amount, the plan generally pays 100% of covered in-network services for the rest of the plan year. But here's the key. Premiums usually do not count toward that maximum, and out-of-network or non-covered services may not count either.
So let me see if I got this. The premium is what I pay every month or out of my paycheck to have the insurance. The copay is the set amount I pay for certain visits or services. The deductible is what I may have to pay before the plan really starts sharing certain costs. Coinsurance is the percentage I may pay after the deductible. And the out-of-pocket max is the finish line for covered in-network services.
Look at you! That was good.
Don't play with me. I'm learning and healing from past bills at the same time.
And that's why this matters. Because Lisa's mistake was not going to the doctor. She did the right thing by getting checked. Her mistake was assuming the copay was the whole cost. When she got the extra bills, she panicked. She thought something was wrong. But really, she did not understand how her plan worked.
So what should Lisa have done before going to the doctor?
Great question. First, she could have checked her plan details. Second, she could have asked the doctor's office, is this service covered under my plan, and will it apply to my deductible? Third, she could have called the number on the back of her insurance card. Fourth, she could have asked whether the lab or imaging center was in network. And fifth, she could have asked for an estimate when possible.
Because sometimes the doctor is in network, but the lab is somewhere else acting brand new.
Exactly. And that can happen. You always want to ask questions. Do not assume every person, place, test, or service is covered the same way. Now, let's bring this back to open enrollment. When people pick a health plan, they often look at one thing: the paycheck deduction.
Yes. We look at the premium and say, which one lets me keep the most money?
And I understand that. People are trying to survive. But the lowest premium plan may come with higher deductibles or higher out-of-pocket costs. The higher premium plan may cost more each paycheck, but could have lower costs when you actually use care.
So the cheapest plan can be cheap until you need it.
Sometimes, yes. Not always, but sometimes. That is why you have to compare the full picture. Ask yourself, how often do I go to the doctor? Do I take prescriptions? Do I have kids? Do I have a chronic condition? Could I handle a large deductible if something happened? Do I have emergency savings? Do I have supplemental coverage that could help with extra expenses?
Because choosing benefits is not just about being healthy today. It's about what happens if life changes.
Exactly. Lisa was healthy until she wasn't feeling right. Tanya from episode 1 was fine until she slipped getting out of the car. Life does not always give a 2-week notice.
Life does not send a calendar invite.
No, it does not. It just shows up. So here are the action steps for today. Number 1, learn your 4 main cost terms: copay, deductible, coinsurance, and out-of-pocket maximum. Number 2, look at your current health plan and write those amounts down. Number 3, before you get labs, imaging, surgery, therapy, or specialist care, ask if it is covered and whether it applies to your deductible. Number 4, confirm that your doctor, facility, lab, and pharmacy are in network. Number 5, during open enrollment, do not choose a plan based only on the paycheck deduction. Compare what the plan costs when you actually use it.
That right there can save somebody from a surprise bill and a surprise attitude.
Yes, because the goal is not to avoid health care. The goal is to understand your coverage before the bill shows up in your mailbox acting mysterious. Now, here are 5 questions to ask yourself before choosing your next health plan. 1, what is my deductible, and could I afford it if something happened? 2, what are my copays for primary care, specialists, urgent care, emergency room visits, and prescriptions? 3, what is my coinsurance after the deductible? 4, what is my out-of-pocket maximum for the year? 5, what services are covered before the deductible, and what services will I have to pay for first?
And can we add a bonus question?
Go ahead.
Who do I call before I start crying over a bill?
Yes, bonus question. Who can explain this before I need it? HR, your benefits department, your insurance company, or a licensed insurance professional? Ask questions early. Do not wait until you are confused, stressed, and holding a bill with 6 different numbers on it.
Because by then, you're not reading, you're squinting.
Exactly. So today's lesson is simple. The copay might be cute, but it is not always the whole story. Your deductible, coinsurance, network, and out-of-pocket maximum matter too. Lisa learned that the hard way, but you do not have to. Before you pick a plan, before you go to the appointment, before you assume the bill is handled, pause and ask questions. Because, baby, health insurance is not just about having a card in your wallet. It's about understanding what that card actually does. This has been Sasha Said What She Said, where we laugh, learn, and talk about the fine print before the bill starts acting brand new. And remember, the copay may be cute, but the deductible has a whole personality. Read your benefits before life makes you meet it in person. Like this channel, subscribe to this channel, and share this channel with family, friends, and the people you love.